You still missed it.
I didn't do it that time. That wasn't me.
No, whoever did it. No, I said you still. You being subjective to whoever attempted.
Oh, well, generally that means you're talking to me because I'm the one that usually does it.
Hey, asshole, shut up. Hi, everybody. It's Saturday again. Spaz is trying to ruin this one. We had a lot of fun last episode with some shit and shenanigans.
Yes, fun.
But we do have news, so to get into that for a second and be somewhat serious before everything gets carried out and turned into a meme, we will be changing up our schedule to some degree for the Saturday and Sunday. Your life is already messed up.
That's why I said it's like it turned into a meme. I'm like, that's already my life.
True. Every other Saturday will now be the Epic of Lagillon. We are having some availability time changes. Life progresses. As every DM, every good person that's a DM would normally, I can't even say I'm a good person, would normally say in this situation, real life takes precedence. Do not do things that could cause you or other players harm by forcing yourself to make things happen. So our group here has decided that due to some changes, we are going to be playing every other Saturday. They are still going to be the same length and the same time, but be bi-weekly. Into the future, there are plans to fill the open slots as they occur with other things, be it whatever we can think of. Whatever Fel looks at me and goes, "You doing something?" Sure. But I'm pretty sure that's what it would eventually come down to. There are projects in the future that, as I said before, we fill these slots. They are only, they're barely on the whiteboard, as to say. They are not being in any way taken action on yet.
I mean, they're on a blackboard. Sorry.
Well, I want to make sure to shove, Arch's nose in it because as somebody who's been forced to DM over a year now for a favor, I expect to play every week.
Yeah. There will be something that will begin to occur as things begin to settle down, as stuff gets to a certain way. If all else fails, we will live stream testing, talking about some in-game stuff and functionality, mechanics, blah, blah, blah. The boring stuff of D&D, which you are welcome to join in to some regard. As it sits right now, I think that is all the primary news. The schedule changes will be confirmed via Twitter and here again next Saturday, and possibly after or nearing the end of the stream tonight, as gives us more time to communicate during the break and help make sure everybody here is on the same page. That way you guys are being updated as we are. I want to personally apologize for Thursday, as I failed to recall that Felwolf is not a computer individual, and that I need somebody to help do things for the man, or else there'll be some sort of fragmentation grenade inside his computer.
What did I miss?
Sorry, what? That is funny.
There was supposed to be something that somebody was supposed to help me with.
Yeah, I forgot. So I'll just openly say it. I forgot to talk to Mel about helping install and get Skyrim Together Reborn working for Felwolf, who would probably sit there and punch his TV a few times before figuring out
hold on. I have physically, and this is real, made my old Xboxes work by stomping on them, so I will get it to work.
Listen, percussive maintenance doesn't work.
Oh man.
But hopefully we will have the more technologically inclined Celia with us this coming Thursday, and able to help finagle some aspects. I myself have gotten it to work thanks to the kind aid of friends and a lot of YouTube videos.
Dragons in high places.
Yeah.
My friends in the computer.
Yes. There will the week in which so we do have a date in October, as was mentioned a few sessions ago. There's a weekend that we will not be having a session on regardless, and it is the weekend of the 15th in October. That weekend will not have a stream. I do believe anything occurring on what would normally occur on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or kind of Monday section will be not happening.
It'll
So
be
as things change,
non-applicable.
those 4 days will more than likely not have anything occurring, and if there is a Thursday stream, it will more than likely end abruptly early. So please be aware of that going forward. We'll remind you guys as October approaches and as October hits about that, as that is something that is out on the docket. But we will have a schedule and here on Twitch as well, somewhat changed a little bit of the information to some degree, and have that stuff on our Discord and Twitter by the end of next week. Give me
Let's just
time
do a
because
podcast
well,
when we're out.
that is one of the suggestions. But
Yeah.
as it is right now, that is what we're looking at. That I think that covers all of our announcements, all of the things that have occurred, and the confirmations of dates and whatnot. So with that concludes all of that. I guess I don't really have to say we don't have a sponsor. None of us, nor I, have truthfully sought out others. We've been sailing along.
Oh, speak for yourself. I've been looking, but little to no avail. I have been looking. I promise you that.
Tried to
I
throw
mean-
me under the bus. Damn, dude.
I will say we could have a sponsor. We just choose not to take it.
And
There's
what's
fine
the Raid Shadow
details
Legends?
to that.
All right. Whenever we can make Fel do something, we can make him do it.
What are you talking about?
With that, yes, go ahead. As you may be aware, start rolling those d20s so that we can determine who gets to be the lovely individual that does the recap. As I sit here and bask within the blazing sun of the 9 hells.
I'm gonna be real. I don't remember a thing from last week. This week has been hard
Just
on
I'm
me.
your fan, Arch. Oh,
I
wait.
wasn't here for half the session last time, and then I had an anxiety attack. That's all I remember.
Hey, you are normal players. You are forced to do this. If I am going to have the boss roll as well, you will all get to roll.
I cost
No, I-
sidekick
I was
damage
the
to
first
Lucy
one to
in real
roll.
life.
I was just gonna tell you it wasn't gonna be good.
Listen, never
If I have to do
forget,
it.
your local tinfoil hat lore master will help you along.
Are you volunteering?
I'm not volunteering. I'm just saying I will be your cheerleader.
Everyone here is volunteering.
What are you talking about?
Do you have a nice little mini skirt to go with that?
Oh, you fucking bet, dude. I'm gonna wear it to our event in October. You fucking
Get
wait.
out of RP and roll.
Oh
Your damn dice.
All right, so we do have a lucky winner, and it is Arya.
I like how nobody caught what I rolled.
Again?
Nice.
God damn it.
I like nobody caught what I actually
Yeah,
rolled.
your D100. You still got a fucking 4.
How do you do that?
That's amazing. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, not until you said it.
I hadn't even
I
rolled
noticed,
down the
but you
list
still
yet.
had 4, so.
No,
Boss,
no.
why? Why are you doing this?
Let me roll an actual.
Close, but not really.
I wanted to see. I wanted to see if I had worse luck than Phil today.
Which-
You almost had
There you
really good luck.
Hey,
Right?
even
Right? I was
lower.
at 69.
Even
Wow.
fucking lower.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez Louise.
This man needs to change his dice colors.
Nope, that's exactly what I want, because now I don't have to tell it.
Yeah, but if you go into combat, you can point at the Senate.
Well, when I get the chance to speak, I'll explain that that's not a problem.
Okay.
There we go. Some of you guys will notice that we will, before break, talk about something that happened, as some of the others here will go and have break. With Fell's character, there have been some changes in regards to some aspects, at least of how he specifically works. Other than that, no changes to the game. Where the fuck did I put that?
Man, I can't believe you nerfed the samurai class. How could you do that?
No, I didn't nerf the class.
No,
I just nerfed
he
Fell.
nerfed. Yeah, he nerfed the character. That's, yeah, so we took.
I was being facetious.
I'll just go over it briefly. We took the majority of the damage away from the sword.
We made it simpler. We operated under the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yes.
And
I prefer something simple I can understand, so I don't have to sit here and ask him every time I want to use it.
yeah.
Because you did have to roll like fucking 8 million d4s.
We changed the system and allowed some things to work better. I did ensure him that some of that stuff, I didn't entirely nerf it. I adjusted and rescaled the magical item to where it is easier to function.
Neat.
Yes.
That way we're not taking 3 minutes for a fucking strike. Just to
Can't wait to see him still do 60 plus damage around.
That's not a thing anymore.
That's me.
Oh,
If
that's the best part.
If he crits, there's the possibility, I guess. But that's more like if he maxes everything.
So like I said, the whole thing where this was not supposed to be a character that dealt that kind of damage, so I completely was 100 with him on that.
Yeah, I mean, you basically are a prototype.
Yeah, and that's what we're working through. Is we're working through the flaws right now of the samurai class, trying to keep it balanced with the other ones, because we got druids in here and we got clerics in this group, and those are some of the more broken classes. The only thing we're missing to create the most broken power team is a wizard.
I think you mean bard.
No, wizard.
No, bards. Their spell selection is very finite.
Just stupid.
They hate the bards, so you forget that spaz.
No, well, bards are very strong, but they are also stupid. I agree.
Unless you want to multi-class into bard, shut the fuck up right now. As Arya needs to do our recap.
Yeah. Hurry up, Arya.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, because there are certain parts that I did not write down about because I just didn't want to have metagame knowledge.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You need to write it. No notes equals victory.
Notes are how I fucking remember names, okay?
Hey, I want you guys to all fucking know this. The first time I had a session with Fellwolf and even Melody God, I brought "Hello, my name is" name tags for everybody.
Oh, dude, it was great. It was fantastic.
I still fucking have mine.
I had them write their characters' names on it so that I could remember, like, when I looked at the person, like, what their fucking character's name was. Because that way I was
Hello,
like,
my name is Wiggums.
yeah. And that way I would...
Send me a picture of that. Send me a fucking picture of that.
And that way, as I look up from the DM screen, I don't just see the person's face and just mouth off their actual name. I see the name tag. And I had them put it on their little binders and whatnot, and they would sit there, and I would be like able to walk around during the break and go, like, all right, the fuck was his name again? Okay, not I don't have to point. Go you roll me because Mel and Fel could both attest. I did that multiple times. It's like, you just roll me this, and that's what I did.
Name.
I know I'm terrible with names, and the sheer fact that I'm able to get a do it in this one is you guys do shit on the right hand side in your characters' names. And I'm like,
our names are on the fucking program. They are on D20.
That's really the only way I remember, yeah.
My job literally is me remembering names. So
I would not be able to remember people's names otherwise.
For me, it's dogs.
For me is hard at remembering names, okay? I have enough part of the time remembering real life names. I can barely remember online names. That said, Stolen got fucking engaged.
There we go.
So there's that. So stag party for him apparently.
Stag party? What?
Let's go.
Opposite of a bachelorette party. But they also went under Whitewater and had a nice look at all the secret things that Whitewater has hidden away. Got to see Solon's house, which is kind of neat to know that it's still there underwater. After that, Arya left him to Gwen so that they could have a night to themselves. Made her way back to the city, where she saw the rest of the group as they were coming back from what was it called? The White King Citadel? Citadel of White King.
Yep.
Where they were talking about Gilgameg and the bullshit that happened with him in the First Kingdom.
Oh, go.
Basically the origin of the fucking everything at this point. We're not sure how extensive that gets. So that will be interesting to see where that goes. And then we saw fucking we saw Aloria talking to Gilgameg and just get fucking snatched by something out of the darkness. So yeah, that's even more concerning now.
Got taken to the back rooms. He's fucked.
He fell into the back rooms. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the bean was attacking rodents trying to steal food at one point. not even wild shaped, just as herself. Attack the squirrels. Hey, at least it wasn't a bird this time.
I don't think she's attacked a bird yet.
Soon. Just give it time.
Soon, TM.
Melody and the bean had a nice moment though, which was cool. They got to meet a depressed elf, which was interesting. And they also stole depressed divorced elf. Yes. They also stole some food from the academy, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I didn't steal nothing.
No, that was all Neoma.
Neither of the rogues stole anything.
Yeah. It wasn't a rogue that stole it. It was a druid.
First of all, my hands are clean. This time. This time.
This time.
Can't wait for you to go down your klepto arc.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Oh, jeez.
Yes! I fucking love that!
But I think that covers everything at this point.
How dare you forget the shop owner? How dare you?
You're forgetting his name, Fred!
I'm not forgetting
Fred.
Don't worry, I'm not forgetting Fred.
Uh-huh. Well, okay, well, if you're not forgetting him, then don't forget that a foolish samurai warrior and his true companion went to an academy. Sorry, that was in my brain ever since the start of your beginning. I was like, I have to get this out somehow.
I love it.
We don't bring up the time I give Lucy real life psychic damage.
What?
You gave all of us psychic damage with that fucking explanation.
Well, it's because I was continuously taking it. Finally, the dot ran out.
The dot?
Wow.
Damage over time.
Oh,
Wow.
listen, man, I haven't finished my gamer subs yet. I'm not here right now.
Wow.
So basic one, bro.
Hold
Gamer
on.
subs.
Hold on. I need to establish something. You're drinking what?
Gamer subs.
You are no longer allowed to drink that, as you don't know what dots is.
Hold on. As the one person here least skilled with tech, I am ashamed of you.
More nuts. Stop the nuts.
More dots.
As a healer, that's basic information, and I am just mad at you on a whole other
I thought
level.
this guy plays Final Fantasy.
I haven't thought about the fucking abbreviation of dot in like many months. Okay, it has not been a thing that has been a part of my fucking thought process.
What I hear is little bitch. That's what I hear.
God damn it.
Yeah, all I'm hearing is excuses because I'm sorry, bro. I'm still catching up on certain games, and I will always remember what dots are.
Ass in prom night tomorrow, Luna. I swear to Christ.
But it's not happening. It's not happening tomorrow.
Well, that's another thing we have to discuss. Oh, hold on, that's another thing we'll have to discuss later.
That's kind of my fault. Apologies.
No, it's not. It's they pushed back the beta, so we have to refigure what we want to do
Oh, okay.
to the next week. So we'll that's an out thing.
As we can either continue with or without Fred, Arya.
Yeah, I'm going with it, Fred.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm done.
That is what they deem worthy enough for our recap. Does anyone else say other?
The glorious of Fred must be preserved in game.
Okay.
I would have preferred a Fell Classic, but I will accept this.
All right. All right. Oh gosh, it's so fucking. I'm just dying. Sorry. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why, but when you said dot, for some reason, my brain went to some kind of pen. I was like, what?
All right.
The pen is called a dot.
All right.
He's still fucked up on that.
Let him be. As we did in last session with Aloria, I guess, standing there in the Golden
Realizing.
Giant's Grove, witnessing the individual surmised to be Gilgameg, or now being confirmed to be Gilgameg, to be whisked away by some oppressive entity of some sort.
King. Sorry.
I heard kink, but whatever that was. As Eloria is left there now alone in the afternoon hours, I do believe it was stated at that time, having this crushing feeling finally drift away in that split moment. Gloria, what are you doing?
Okay.
I
Clean yourself.
You had a fucking week, my guy.
It's been a long week, okay? I don't fucking know. I'm going to just go find a bench and take a seat and just fucking be completely spaced out. Yeah. And just think while I wait for Fel and Neoma to get back. Because there's really nothing much else that I can do at the moment.
So you will find a bench. The foliage around here is is heavily overgrown, but you'll be able to find a bench and sit down on it, kind of staring towards the ground, hands resting on your knees, letting the weight of that moment sink in or slowly drift off. You will hear movement coming from the forest, from the trees in front of you, as eventually Beowulf and Neoma breach through the tree line into this more Groven-like area. If I recall, you two had also just left the academy after viewing the classroom that was stocked and arranged in as a kitchen of sorts.
I would say Fel would probably notice immediately how unnerved and obviously like shaken Aloria is at the moment.
Embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck.
So I have a dejected cow lady and a depressed elf.
Not depressed, like fucking just basically she looks terrified.
I am not skilled on arcane matters.
I don't know if you're actually skilled in people matters.
I am skilled in people matters.
You're skilled in the people dismembering matters.
I have very, very highly tuned interpersonal skills with my sword.
Yes.
And intimidation. I am proficient in that.
As your goal was here is to scout out this area and ensure that it is somewhat secure, secluded enough for the conversation which you've suspected to take place. Give me a perception or investigation check, Felwell.
Watch this nat fucking one. Oh.
16?
Don't you put your evil on me. You keep your suck over that way.
As you do look around, as the afternoon is trying to find its way in, you will hear a bell ring as it kind of echoes. You'll hear it chime 4 times.
Ding dong and the bing bong?
Yep. However, as the ringing of the bell dies down, what were voices that somewhat held the area of the forest and around the academy that you were just at do fade through the trees. As you could surmise, the building nearby, the large facility nearby, is being vacated to some degree. Out of everywhere in this town that is within the walls, you would suspect from what you see around you, this may be one of the more secluded locations. There's enough coverage from where a majority of the populace is, and the other side is just a wall. That on the other side of is a sheer drop cliff into the waters below. So you would surmise that this is probably one of the better locations for a private conversation.
Okay. Self will ask Neoma to sit on the bench as he observes reactions.
Whose reaction?
Neoma's.
Okay.
She'll sit on the bench.
Does she suddenly become paranoid?
No, but I would like to say, Lucy, eat your mic, please. You are quieter even more from you were quieter even more from last week. I had to turn up my headset, and then at that point I'll have to start turning everyone else down because then it's gonna bleed through my microphone.
Consume
she
your
will
mic.
sit on the bench.
Right,
I am actually yelling.
Okay,
So you
lady.
consider yelling?
This is me yelling.
Okay, lady.
You're not yelling.
Go into your. There was an update for computers recently. Go into your sound settings and make sure your microphone is up.
Oh, you want to make sure that is up? Okay.
You are
Where is it?
significantly quieter.
Is there a reaction?
From her sitting down, no, and Aloria does make account somewhat of the presence that she does sit down, but Aloria still seems shaken.
Is she shaken as in any of the times before that she has ever been shaken? Since she is a person of mood swing galore.
Make me an insight check.
Fuck.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Okay. I'm assuming you want me to describe this.
For 22, no, I can. I could perfectly describe
You can?
this.
Okay.
Beowulf,
Yes.
you've been
Little bitch.
you've been in small skirmishes, you've been training, you've seen people see things that are in a sense a level of fear that a warrior's trained to somewhat shake off. Though there are cases of individuals that do see something beyond what they find as reason. And to you, that's come more normal as late, as you've begun to encounter strange things, creatures, beings, people that just don't fit the normal bill of what a warrior like yourself is taught or trained to deal with. Though for you and other warriors are wise enough to be able to shake those things off. You have seen Aloria shaken by things, the reality of moments, even the moments after that explosion and her somewhat recovering. This seems as if something occurred to her that, for your sense, would have shaken her spirit. Not her will to go on, but something that reached in and, with a malice, shook her.
Okay. Guess we're not going to group up in the garden. He just looks at her, he's like, what did you do in the 5 minutes I was gone?
Gloria just looks up at you. Face unchanging. He's gone.
Okay. That is very descriptive.
I spoke to Gil again. And at the end, something, a black gauntleted hand, reached from nowhere and took him.
A black gauntleted hand, you say? Sounds like someone we know.
He knew it was going to happen.
I don't know anything. However, anybody with a tactical mind would know that we are probably being scrutinized right now.
Finally got the answers I wanted out of him, and he knew that when he gave them, that
Not necessarily.
he's gone because of me, Fel.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Was there really?
No. Unless you have the ability to stop extra dimensional beings from grabbing other extra dimensional beings, which I don't believe you do. If you do, I am going to be highly interested in that ability. Otherwise, don't concern yourself with it.
How can I not? Something like this.
This is simple. One of the best rules of war is use fear to your advantage. Fear is a tool to be used. If you don't fear anything, it cannot be used against you.
All right, then. And teach me, Fel. Teach me how to not feel fear.
Sure. He just holds out his hand.
What is this?
Take my hand. He's just sitting there smiling, or standing there smiling.
Gloria will stand up and reach out and grasp your hand, almost in a death grip.
He takes your hand, pulls you close, turns you around, and places both of his hands on your shoulder. Says, "Now, I have your back."
What if you're not there when I need you?
Maybe next time don't talk to invisible creatures? I know that I feel a lot more confident when my friends are around. You think I'm able to stay stoic off of training? Do you think these things that we've encountered have been things I have been trained to encounter? Absolutely not. However, I'm not going to sit here and panic over something I have no control over. I will face it head on, I will deal with the problems, and I will drag those I care for, whether it be kicking or screaming, or gleefully hooting and hollering, victory. Matters not to me how it's done, only the fact that it is done. So let this black gauntleted hand take these invisible creatures and beings. Individuals of what I have no influence or care for. The only people I care for are around right now.
Is going to reach up and place one of her hands on top of yours. Sorry, I fear for what it means for the rest of us if that can just happen.
Imagine my thoughts when I saw my father laying dying before me, a person I thought invincible. Does not stop me from wondering what could be. But it also does not cripple me. To be paralyzed with fear is only death. We move forward. We adapt. We overcome. We ensure that those we cherish do not come to harm. That is something we can influence.
I just hope that wherever he is, he's still alive. Or at least alive enough to rescue.
Besides, I have something a little more trivial that would be very suited for your skills. Yours and mine.
Or will have her hand drop from her shoulder and then turn around to face you.
He kind of just puts one arm around his shoulder and just kind of looks at you, then looks over at Neoma. It's like, this one seems to require basic schooling.
Teacher?
We both could. I can teach her things of literacy and things of that nature, if you would teach her the proper ways of society and druidism. This is what I mean by influencing things you can. These little things potentially can stack up and cause something bigger to happen. So let's start with something small, shall we? This individual, one of our own, is obviously at a disadvantage. Let's eliminate that disadvantage.
Do we even have the time?
Well, that's the best thing about traveling as an adventurer. As long as we have paper, there's time.
Then we'd better stock up once this meeting is over.
That is what I am for. However, I am quite sure that your ways of druidism are not very akin to paper.
No, most certainly not.
So I suggest we start with that. Show her some arcanum. And I will start with manners, as he kind of looks over at me.
Perhaps once my mind has settled. I'm not quite there right now.
And then let me show her some arcana.
You know magic.
Of course I know magic. I am noble taught, after all.
Make.
I'm technically not lying, so
That's.
I got something in mind. I'm not lying.
Okay.
The only power I've
I'll let
ever
this
seen.
pass, but as it goes further, I may make you have to. You may have to make a roll.
If anything, it's gonna be a performance check. Let's put it that way.
Arya will cock her eyebrow at you. As far as I'm aware, your magic stems from your blade.
Oh, absolutely, they will not need a sword for this. I won't even need to get in one of my stances. All I need is one hand and my face.
Lawyer cocks her entire head down. You've lost me.
He's like, Neoma, would you like to see some magic?
Sure.
I'll show you a trick. Magic trick that I've learned. This is a highly complex arcanum. Only the most skilled can do it.
Oh no.
Roll your performance check. Neoma,
You're just gonna do.
Surprisingly, not bad.
Neoma, give me a perception check.
Oh no.
Make sure I click the right P. There's 3 in a row. There we go.
Nope.
Foulwolf, if you would like to describe what it is that you are doing.
Oh god.
He takes his hand and places above his head. As he sits there, smiles at Neoma, he slowly lowers his hand past his face, and when it passes his face, he changes his face to a frown. And then back to a smile. And then back down to a grin. Then back down, angry face.
You can't
I
tell how
honestly
he's doing
think-
this.
Yeah, I think Neoma would be just jaw dropped.
As
So,
Foulwolf stands there,
just gonna...
Eloria, as you are standing to the side of Foulwolf, witnessing this happen, roll me a perception with advantage.
Are you kidding me? I'm not stupid.
No one shall know my secrets.
Roll me a perception with advantage.
With advantage, okay. At least there's that. Now watch this.
I'm giving you advantage. You are in the section.
Now watch this fucking drive.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah, you will see that he is just changing his face behind the hand. But Neoma, from your perspective, this normally very martially focused individual, physical in nature, is performing some trick of the gods of sorts as his hand passes by his face, changing and contorting it differently each and every time.
Yeah, she's just jaw dropped, speechless, staring at this. It's very confused, but very thrilled.
Hell, you're just gonna hear Gloria turn away and start, like, giggling to herself.
Foulwolf will eventually stop with the trick. He's like, see, even I can do some magic. Would you like to learn how to do more?
Certainly a magic trick.
I mean, sure.
Loria here is a very nice lady. She's been kind enough to volunteer to help teach you.
Okay. Well, I also know a lot of magic too.
Perfect. Then you two can work very well together.
It's not so much that she's not capable of her own magic spell. Like you said, it's more so the academic side.
Absolutely. A great swordsman can be a great swordsman without a mentor, but a mentor brings in guidance.
She also has been mentored. You know this.
She's been mentored by an individual that you do not recognize, and I have no knowledge, being someone who's traveled across. So I would actually enjoy the fact that you two communicate well together and show each other what you both know. You know things she doesn't. She knows things you have not. You both have different types of arcane based around the same lineage. It makes sense that you would work together. Yes, I will handle the literacy. However, my literacy can only go so far, as arcanum runes do not belong in repertoire. That is once again where you come into. Whether you like it or not, technically you are a mentor.
You do understand that when we first met, I was still technically a fledgling druid.
You gotta leave the nest sometime. They threw me at a mountain.
They threw you?
But yes, I had to survive on a mountain by myself. At some point, you must take life by the horns, if you will. As he kind of winks over at Neoma.
Yeah, she's really giggling and just wiggling her head.
Okay. Then I suppose the first thing I'll focus on is exactly what aspects of nature we derive our core power from. As you probably noticed in the arena matches we had back in Auditore, I have an affinity for flame. I was taught by the Circle of Wildfire, and that is where my power lies. It's why I'm able to manifest the wildfire spirit, the flaming owl that you see me use. It's a sign of my connection to the natural element of flame. You, on the other hand, get your primary strength from a different place. So tell me, what is it that you feel the most connected to in nature? Is it the land itself, perhaps the animals that live and thrive in it, or something else?
I was told this last time, actually. Let me grab my... I forgot to grab out my notebook. Give me a second. Oh god, trying to open the notebook shaking is so hard. I feel most connected to like animals and all this, but my teacher told me connected to the Lady of the Lake.
All right. Well,
let me help you with this, Neoma. That is where you draw your power from. That's what you're told. I'll help you in this regard. The question is more derived towards what is it that, in regards to your power, do you find connection to? That one was what you were told where your power comes from, but you connected to whatever your circle is, your subclass. So whatever your subclass is what aspect of your druidic nature you are more in tune with.
Then she's just gonna point to the sky. The moon.
I see. Then you are not unlike the Circle of Druids named after such. You specialize in shape-shifting, drawing your true strength out when you become a beast of some sort. That is where your primary strength lies. There are probably many things that you can turn into because of your affinity to the moon that I could not. Your strengths, while shapeshifted, are greater than mine. I substitute my shapeshifting with the use of my wildfire spirit. This is what separates us. We are still druids, but there are different places to focus to have an affinity with. It makes sense that you're most like the druids of the moon, given that you were raised almost exclusively by natural beings, animals, even a dryad to be your teacher. So that is where your focus lies. And this is what I meant the first time we met when I asked what circle you were a part of. Circles are separate from the dryads. They are groups of druids who teach others. I was taught by a circle, you were taught by the land itself, practically. So if you were to be a part of a circle, the moon would be yours. Do you understand?
For the most part, yes.
All right. I'm not exactly sure how to progress from here. I don't exactly have it all laid out, at least not to teach in any case.
All I can say, I've been doing magic for a very long time.
Yes, I imagine I wouldn't have to teach you the hows, but he, I think, wants me to help you understand the connections and the whys. So that's what I'm going to try to do.
She seems to indeed have training, but from what I was able to observe with our dealings, she has a very loose grasp on how to use, maintain overall function.
I'll continue to think on how I can explain it to you further, but for now, whenever you can, just think about that explanation I gave you.
And when you're not working with Gloria here, I'll be supplying you with some paper and some ink, and you and I will be drawing.
What does drawing have to do with anything?
I remember correctly, we both did drawing before.
Yeah, I like drawing.
As Fellow just looks over to Lori and he just starts drawing out shapes in the air. Letters.
I drew recently.
Oh. You mean literature?
Yes. First step for her to embrace some semblance of civilization is to understand reading and writing. If she does not already know this, he kind of looks at her and he says this.
I know basic writing, but I don't know how to read.
There you go. I may not have to teach you how to write as hard, but there will have to be some reading lessons.
Wait a minute. How do you write but not read?
Let me go from that on a parent perspective. Very easily. You can know your letters.
Yeah.
But you could tell me that's a B, that's an A, that's these are the letters of what spell banana. But when you look at it, that's
Yeah, she knows how
Exactly.
to write her name. She knows how to write like foods and like basic stuff, but she has no clue and what to read. Like,
Hey,
she was
got
taught
it.
how to write in the dirt. Like, it's not gonna be the best. It's
We will
chicken scratch.
not be using
Because
dirt.
because neither the perspective of my character nor myself as Spaz, it could
It's
understand.
kind of like how a bird can understand words, but can't read it. They can pick it up, but they can't read it.
Okay. I think I understand.
So basically, half of the work is there for Felwolf to build off of.
Yeah.
Cool.
I kind of, as the story standpoint, it was taken off the idea of they can recognize what letters are, they can speak, they can understand it, but the fact of ever reading in a place like the forest was never needed. So it's not something that would have been, at least for this character, primary in any regard. I mean, it's not like the fucking, rabbit's gonna be sitting there with a little makeshift stall selling carrots going, hey, it's 5 copper per carrot or some shit like that.
All you needed was Bugs Bunny, man. He could have done it.
I'm sure he could have, but let's be honest
That
here.
money would have swindled you for a lot more than 5 copper.
Let's be honest. Bugs Bunny, if it was out there in the forest, it'd either be a druid stuck in a rabbit's body, or it would be what are those hopkins or whatever the hell they are?
Are the rabbitkin people?
Arians, yeah.
Arians.
Yeah.
Arians.
There better be a fucking Bugs Bunny like character now. If we don't meet one in,
Hey,
in the forest.
hold on.
You need a Harryon and you need a Kinku in the same party.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But we're not here to rip things off. So
Oh really? Are you sure about that?
I'm
For a
completely
different campaign.
positive. That's a different campaign. That's the private.
So not
level.
writing it down.
But regardless, that's kind of where that standpoint comes from, and that's how children learn. So believe it or not, that's how. Believe it or not, that's how you probably learned how to read and write. You learned what
I
letters
did
were
both
first.
simultaneously.
No, you learned what letters were first, and then you learned what it was when you put them together. She was taught what letters are, but not what happens when you put them all together.
She basically learned by listening to other people that were going through. And that was about it.
Yeah.
Like, in whatever, like, say, a raven mimicked or something like that. That's about it.
Huh.
Professor Toucan.
Yep.
All right.
I guess we could fast forward since we're just sitting here BSing.
Yes. We'll go ahead and have it to where I believe it was Shadow would have encountered Arya inside the castle courtyard as they both entered in the other gate, or in the each one through each gate. Shadow.
I remember going somewhere with a purpose, but I don't remember where I was going exactly.
You were going to gather the rest, I believe is what it was.
Was I asked to gather the rest? Okay.
Because Lily went to go gather the other adventuring group, her group, and I do believe Foulwolf wanted you to ensure that everyone else was made aware that you guys were gathering at the Golden Giant's Grove.
Yep.
And I also
34.
remember you
Gotcha.
saying that you wanted to also go to the magic shop for your own purposes. You just didn't want to take Neoma along.
I believe that is 33, not 34.
33. Well, I know it's the giant green area in the park.
Yeah.
We're meeting in the park between 33 and 34.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Right here. Somewhere.
In there, see it.
But you caught a glimpse of Arya on the other bridge going towards the castle courtyard, or the governmental complex. And so...
Alone, mind you.
Yeah. So that is, I assume, the direction you would have gone to at least grab one person.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I would walk through the gate. I would wave in her direction or approach if she wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, she'll wave back and walk on over.
I was
Alright.
asked to collect the others. We are having a meeting in the park, and he would gesture towards the bridge he just came through. Have you seen the others, by the way?
Stolen is a bit busy this evening.
Oh?
He will not really be able to join us.
Busy.
Okay.
I'll let him
And-
explain when he gets back.
All right. I won't ask. I really feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I tasked myself to do something last session. I never got around to it, and I wanted to get it done, but I feel like
This is why I take notes.
well, it is a
Got it.
self
Probably
note.
wasn't important.
It's about
Probably
me.
not.
It's not important. It's about anything else, probably. Okay then.
All right, sorry.
I mean,
I believe we should head back or head there then, if Stolen will not be around.
well,
What of?
is it a private meeting?
No. Our group will be gathering with another group, I believe.
Is it one that we would be wary of prying ears?
It's one that fell set up. So I'll leave that matter to him. I trust him in his decision making.
That's a mistake.
All right.
Okay, I'll head that direction. Though, she looks at her outfit. I think I'm gonna go get changed first.
Oh, speaking of, I'll come with to argue there. I actually did have something I wanted to ask you while we were here, and he'll walk with her in the direction she needs to go.
Yeah, I'll come back towards the castle.
We've discussed about holy water before.
Yes.
You said that you could make some, yes?
Yes, I was actually planning on doing that tonight while we had time.
Oh, good. I was going to acquire some from a local church, but they seem to be out. Apparently, the paladins like to stock up and take all around here, so.
Well, I have plenty of the powdered silver now, so I'll be able to make quite a few bottles.
Wonderful. Will it be of the same potency as these? And he'll pull out one of the vials to hand to her as they're just walking.
I'll take it and look it over. I'm assuming it's the standard holy water.
I am completely unsure. I was told that it was holy water, or at least it acted like it.
Arch?
You're able to make holy water, so yeah, this is just standardized holy water.
Okay. Mine will be about the same for this.
Oh, fantastic. All right, then.
And she'll hand it back. If you want me to make some more powdered silver would be what I need.
And can I get that from where?
Any magic shop or alchemist shop should have it.
Okay. Will do.
Although if you're going to the magic shop, make sure that you steal your resolve.
But, excuse me?
You'll understand when you see it.
Okay. They're not insane, are they?
No, a bit eccentric.
Okay. I've dealt with eccentric. It's the insane I can't stand.
Quite funny, honestly.
And I should get along well.
If you can make it in the door. And she just smiles.
Okay, I will take that with a bated breath. I plan on escorting her as far as her room and waiting on the outside.
It'll take her a while to get dressed. If I remember, it's 10 minutes.
What are you planning on putting on?
Full on outfit and armor.
Roughly 25 minutes.
Okay.
But the point that you're ready, you will see as you begin to head out the front gates, you will see the other group of adventurers now moving out towards the gate to head towards those gardens. As you will see now entering from the most northern gate, Elenan. Maybe at this point, your group, Arya, Shadow, and Elenan would hear the bells chiming, the 4 chimes.
Elenan. We were just
good to see you again.
gonna go to the park in order to have some talks. Care to join us?
Yes, we need to meet up with my mother as well. We have enough time to. I'm assuming we have enough time to have talk and then get to the park on the other side of the city.
The
To meet up
glacial
with my
gardens.
mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be able to get there. It's an hour from now, essentially. So
Yeah.
as you guys have been in Whitewater, the hours are chimed out by the bell.
Yeah.
There are 2 points in which the bells don't chime. 4 times they will chime for a longer period of time beyond the to the point where it just kind of rings in the air, which would be noon, and midnight does not chime. It's the only hour that does not. So yeah, it would take you a few minutes only to get from the castle courtyard or the governmental district towards the gardens, and then have your conversation and possibly reach the glacial gardens by the 5th bell.
Yeah.
As your group now is somewhat conversing, you will see Stolen accompanied by a stout female, dressed in these soft this burgundy color gown with certain portions stretched and draped with what seems to be a dark leather, almost like a leather tunic towards the top of this dress. Though immediately you're able to tell this individual's not wearing formal shoes, they are wearing boots underneath. And what you would have expected to be bracelets and whatnot adorning the arms or the neck, you will see a bracer of sorts on the ends of both arms, metal on top of what seems to be leather wraps, and a somewhat metal gorget tucked underneath the leather tunic and dress. The only thing adorning their hands at this point that you'll see is a ring. The only other aspects are the slightly, I think it was braided and shaven side of one section of the head, and the straight hair with the braids that come down in single small strings. They're not wearing any other form of makeup, and on their hands is a ring. The aspect of them laughing and kind of talking with Stolen as they both approach, you'll see these somewhat glittery yellow eyes. As Stolen and the other individual begin to approach your troop.
Ah, good day, friends.
Stolen, how are you?
Oh, doing quite well. Got to go see home and got to visit Gwyn. Are we going to the meeting at the castle?
We'll be doing it in the park, actually.
Ah. See. So what have you gotten up to today so far?
Oh, gotten to take a stroll around town. Get my bearings, more or less. But not much more than that, unfortunately. I did get a moment to check out the resort down towards the bottom. Actually, quite nice. Seems a little too fancy for my taste, but it was nice.
Oh yes, it is quite fancy and, well, maybe you should try getting a manicure sometime there. They're simply great, I tell you.
You'll see him kind of scowl at that comment as he'll look down to his paw.
He clawed one?
I mean,
roll me a D100.
Isn't he missing a full hand of claws?
Yeah, roll me a D100.
do you want me to roll it or
Yeah.
him to roll it? Because I already know what happened. I know exactly. You told me exactly what happened.
Yeah, you just give me a D100.
All right, cool.
Do as he says.
I mean, I already planned on it. I was just curious as to of the why.
As I stated, the base of your nails did not come out. They broke off inside your paw, which is why it was extremely painful.
Yeah.
You are seeing some of it beginning to show growth. It's been a little while, but it may take some time for them to come back. So essentially, your nails are currently trimmed. You can't truthfully go batting around anything with that hand.
With claws, yeah, on that one. I have claw, not claws.
He clawed.
You have one soft paw.
It's a southpaw.
Never mind.
That'd be your boxer name.
Probably.
Softball.
Oasis South.
Boxing with me is trying to hit shadows.
Oh,
Martial art master Softpaw.
I mean,
give us
Man,
our beach episode back, Shadow, for God's sake, for that one.
no, you can go and buy that yourself. That's DLC. You have to pay for that now.
this man's
So
trying to be EA over here. All extra content
Yeah.
is behind a paywall.
You already got extra content. We have a raid battle to go do with the Tarask at some point.
Bastard.
That's the content I give. We got a raid battle.
That's end game. That is end game raid.
Well, does your group depart? Heading for the I guess the gardens or whatever.
Yep. We'll head on there.
All right. You guys will follow behind, able to still be within the distance of the distinguished noises coming from the forward group. Felwolf, Neoma, and Loria. You will hear the troop or Lily's group beginning to approach. As eventually they do get there, there is still the tussling of two individuals as the group itself is moving.
Oh, good. Seems like they haven't stopped.
You will also see that Bordvik is carrying with him what seems to be a large cooking pot. And you will notice his helmet is currently off and dangling from his hip by a strap. As he pulls forth from the pot what seems to be a completely roasted chicken. And just kind of bite off pieces and then put it back in the pot. And he'll pull out another one and bite off the same area, but it's an entirely different chicken. The man is walking around with a pot of chickens.
I'm going to turn to Fel. Whatever happens to us, promise me you won't do that.
He kind of just pauses for a second. He's like, I will sing my death song with honor.
I don't even know what that means.
As the group is being brought along by the individuals, there is one currently missing. You will not see the helmeted female that you had seen once before. As from the tree line next to you, as the party begins to get closer, you'll watch as she walks out of the tree line and joins in with the group. She would have been close enough, at least for both of you, to know that she probably has been watching for a good while or was already in the area to some degree. One of the two would be plausible, but would have definitely been there long enough to have seen some of the more recent activity.
Or is just going to look at her and frown and squint.
As they begin to arrive, you'll hear the distinct sound of fist meeting head as the two that are still roughhousing eventually straighten up, rubbing the top of their cranium. As now the entire troop of Lily, Bordvik, Domina, Boris, Galub, Kiri, and I'm trying to do this straight off the top of my head. There's two more. Ah, damn it. I can't think of his name.
The DM forgot his
Caleb.
NPCs.
Was it Einzel?
I don't have my notes up. I've been doing this
Caleb,
straight off my head.
Einzel, Bordvin, Diana, Domina, Lightwater, Kiri, Boris, and then Lily.
I don't think I ever wrote
This is why I write down names!
I don't
have my
wrote
notes.
those
No, I don't
down.
have my notes up. I've been doing that
Oh,
straight
I
off from
didn't
fucking
write
memory.
them down. I don't think I was there. Oh no, I was there when you introduced them. Oh well.
Yes, you were there. Everybody was there.
Oops.
Let me make sure I
Hehe.
pull it up. And there we go. Gotta double check this because
Do, 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 do.
I gotta make sure that this individual's still there. Yep. You did forget a name. As there was an individual that was introduced, if I recall correctly. Is with them. Eyes bandaged over. Hood. The individual named Talador. The monk.
For him at all.
Yeah. He was there.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything to any of you. He just kind of stood
Yeah,
there.
he just stood there.
He was-
While
he
Bordvin
was
stole
not-
the show.
He was not part of the introductions, no.
Well,
No, he did introduce. No, he did introduce him. I remember it.
yeah. He was just not prominent. He was one of those characters where you're just like, oh, okay. And just don't look at him
kinda
because he's
set
not doing anything. But yeah, Talador is there. I do recall mentioning that he is blindfolded to your troop. Though I...
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah. But the entirety of that group is now before you. As, of course, Bordvin is stuffing his face with just chicken.
How loud is he eating?
He's eating with manners, but he is using his hand, and he still has his armored gauntlets on, just putting his hand into this large cooking pot as if it was some sort of container for him to travel around with food. Eventually you will see him pull out like a fully baked potato and just bite into it and then drop it back into the pot.
It's like a giant bag of popcorn.
And he's just kind of walking and eating it.
It's his goodie bag.
This trail mix.
Essentially just their version of what KFC has.
As he sees your group there is a moment in which it does look like he's about to drop the large pot. As Talador will somewhat whack him with his bow staff, as Bordvin then re-grabs the pot as it's about to drop and just kind of hold it up and thank you. He just stuffs more food into his mouth as he's kind of standing there. Bordvin's face is very oddly not. indicative of the demeanor of his armor that he carries. Scarred, dented, and just worn from either wrestling his dragon or fighting untold beasts. He does carry on himself, facially wise, these massive chops, just hair hanging off the sides, but nothing truthfully in the front. No mustache, no goatee, nothing. Just mutton chops. The soft color of his eyes, the somewhat paled gray skin, and this big smile, along with a tattoo that covers half of his face. His hair is brought up into what seems to be a small bun at the very top, but shaved on the sides, except where the hair would contact the chops. There's just like this line of, or almost his hair is hugging his head, like some sort of hairy creature is resting on the top of his cranium.
Having a hard time imagining this right now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
This is also a very giant man, as his facial features are very pronounced and almost chiseled, as he looks as if he would be some sort of warrior noble or should have conquered battlefields and never have taken a scratch kind of face.
He looks like Chad.
Yeah, he looks like Chad. However, he's just stuffing his face like somebody made the wrong decision to invite him to a buffet. As he's just standing there, as you see his cheeks ever so slightly puffed out, as silently as chewing. It could either be the thickness of his skin or the fact that he was taught table manners, but he brought his table with him.
Huh.
I like his manners.
Shortly after this group arrives, you will see Shadow, Arya, and Elenan.
Hold a moment. Wasn't Stolen with them?
You will see Stolen and a female figure next to him. They are locked arms. This woman is shorter to some degree, and as described before.
Okay. Laura's going to look inquisitively at Stolen. Who have you brought?
Oh, well, this, everybody, is Gwen. She was actually an oasis with me when we all first met, and Shadow's actually the one that saved us. But she is, as he looks at Gwen and kind of smiles a little bit, looks back to the rest of the group, she is my fiance.
Laura's eyes just widen. Is that so?
Yes. Back on our travels, I acquired a ring and thought long and hard and decided it was time. As I said to her earlier, if there's no other captain I would be glad to go with than her.
Surely that doesn't mean you intend to settle down and leave us behind.
I don't know
no.
who let him.
Yeah, the wedding is more likely going to be after whatever happens.
It's good to finally meet you, Gwen. I've heard about you. I knew Stolen respected you, but I didn't think your relationship was quite that involved.
Surprised any of you would prefer to be around him for as long as you have, unless there was something about him you unless there was something about him you enjoyed.
Well,
See Stolen smiling, just like kind of smirking at you.
His jokes might be a bit fishy, but
not
he's
you
got a
too,
good heart.
Shadow.
What? I see
Come
no
on.
wrong in what I've said. Is it not true? He says fish floats. Is that not okay?
It's questionable at times, the quality of the humor. Though I have to admit they have grown on me after a while.
Almost like a barnacle, right?
I would say a barnacle has less charisma than you, Stalin.
Thank you.
Though then again, a barnacle
Maybe
is a
not,
low
though.
bar.
I'll take it as a compliment as it is.
Though, I will say, I have given my fair share of strikes upon the back of his head for some of the things that have come out of his mouth.
Yeah, actually, a couple times she has. As he looks to Gwen.
You're
Shadow
thick-headed,
will,
so I'm not too worried about it.
Shadow will place his paw on Stolen's shoulder. This gives you another thing to fight for. I'm sure this means more than ever you'll return home. It's a good thing to have.
Gives me one more reason to keep you from dying. Thank you for increasing my stress levels.
Oh, now you're stressed. I see.
Oh, I was already stressed, Fel, but this just adds on to it.
Is there something that doesn't add on to it?
You know, that is a very good question.
Well, once we find it, I'm sure we'll let you know.
I'm gonna back away from that one.
In any case, I don't mean disrespect, but we can trust her integrity, right?
Of course, as much as you can mine.
And I'll take your word for it.
Dwarves don't share secrets, so you're fine.
You're not wrong about that. Well, seeing that everyone's here, I suppose we can finally get down to business. And out of character, nobody make the joke. Please.
Well,
Alright, back in character. Continuing on. Continuing on. Everything that is discussed in this gathering is not to leave the conversation. Rather, not to leave any individuals here associated with it. This is strictly confidential. Am I understood?
Shadow looks at squirrels.
There are no squirrels.
Oh. Well,
The surrounding area is currently void of wildlife.
I'm primarily addressing Lily and her group at that point.
Okay.
Are you sure that I should be here for this then?
You do not
Shadow
have
will
to stay
take up
if
in one of
you
the
don't-
trees then.
You don't have to stay if you do not desire, Arya, but I would rather that you not be alone.
I'm more concerned about whether or not I have prying ears around me.
Even if there are, if any dare to act against us, I think you know what would happen considering, well, the people that you have at your side.
True. Just to be safe, I am gonna cast See Invisibility,
Okay.
and I'm gonna take a quick look around to see if I can spot those floating eyes that were mentioned before.
Give me a perception check.
Tired stress. That's good, Luna.
You're welcome. I thought you'd appreciate that.
There is one.
Okay. Is it looking towards me or somebody else in particular?
Maybe an insight check.
Fuck.
Ooh. Not bad.
Ooh. It's not looking towards you.
Who is it looking towards?
As you stare at this orb, roll me a... I want this to decide which one. Roll me a sanity saving throw.
Oh, fuck.
Shit.
Let's go.
You're not gonna make it.
My history on these is not good, so.
As you stare at this floating orb, for what seems to you to be a moment of silence, as the details of this orb begin to take shape, sorry for the similarities, but this is probably the only way I can truthfully describe this. There seems to be layers of almost swirling blacks and reds, as if this object itself is different from the others that you've seen. You've seen these just kind of dark orbs or strangely warped orbs following you around, each somewhat seemingly different, but similar to some regard and shape and size. But this one is unique. It seems as if it is focused on Aloria. However, as you stare at this, you watch this object, though for a moment doesn't seem like it moves. But as the dark circles mixing with the red bend and turn, you see what looks to be an iris staring at you through this, as if now it is looking at you as you are watching it. Since you have failed, you will see the edges of your vision, as normally you will have seen these floating fish things moving in the ethereal realm. As these things begin to scatter off, move and leave, as this orb slowly approaches you.
Done it.
Oh god.
The moment I see it start to move, I'm going to reach out to whoever I can hit first, hit them, and just say, enemy.
From what I recall, the only individual standing next to you, that I think that you last interacted with would probably have been Aloria.
Roll to hit.
Roll an unarmed strike. D20 plus your strength modifier.
Okay, I'll just roll strength then.
That does not hit, as Aloria, you watch as a fist from Arya flies by your face. As you hear her mutter out, make me I'll allow this. Make me a perception or a perception check or a insight check on Arya, as she mutters out enemy.
Perception or insight. Fucking insight. 18.
18. As you look at her eyes, they've somewhat changed as to take on some sort of arcane form. You will see what seems to be small, like bluish runes moving across her eyes. But you'll watch as one of those runes changes color from black. It changes to a color of black and red as like a wave or reflection of something.
I'm going to follow her gaze wherever she's looking.
You don't see anything.
Aloria is just going to yeah, fuck it. Aloria is just going to, in the area in front of her, she's just going to shout, "Move back!" and then just cast a moonbeam in front of, just in the general area where Arya is looking.
Make me a D100.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
God damn.
5.
You've got to be fucking me, dude.
As you cast Moonbeam, it doesn't hit anybody, but nothing occurs. Go ahead and mark off
That was a
Moonbeam.
misclick.
Mark off
Sorry,
moonbeam?
go ahead and mark off the usage of the spell slot.
Yeah.
Um,
And
I'm
Aloria
assuming Bell sees the sky laser beam.
Aloria then...
everybody
At
would
this
see
point-
that just happen.
Yeah, I was just to say, we're like sitting here like,
As
I'm going to turn to Arya.
Arya,
Where is it?
as this orb now floats down to just in front of you, you're unable to move your feet. This feeling of an intense oppression, like something is weighing you down, as if gravity intensified. This orb, now almost the size of like a cantaloupe, is floating in front of your face. Make for me... I'll give you two options here. Make for me a wisdom saving throw, or make for me a perception check.
I'll go with the wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
oh my
You'll
god.
be fucking me.
Boy.
No. Oh no.
Oof.
Hold on.
Oh
Got to be fucking me right now.
For those of us that are in proximity, obviously we see what's transpiring, correct?
You see her staring at something intently. You've recognized the little arcane runes going across the eyes, because they are counter to what her eyes normally look like.
Can
I
I
also
see,
used this spell in front of them before.
Yeah.
can I see her irises?
Make me a perception check. If you're wanting to discern any
A 17.
abnormalities, 17, you will see one of the on her eyes, the one that crosses over the pupil, like straight in front of her, kind of like the reflection off of water. The color changes to something else, but as the rune passes over, it will go back to the normal blue color.
Do her irises seem to be focusing on something further away or close by?
I would say, if my air quotes medical knowledge is correct, an object in front of you, your eyes would, your pupils would dilate to take in detail as it gets closer.
Mm-hmm.
So her eyes are wide, staring at something in front of her. I'll say with the 17 and the familiarity you have with the individual, their facial expression and their eyes are telling you some very akin to the experience or what you saw that Aloria had. That same look of malice being directed towards them.
Can I do an action?
Sure. Give me 1 second though.
Okay.
Lily, make for me an Arcana check.
I was just about to ask too. Thank you. Just normal one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in response to the
Ooh!
in response
Nice.
to Nat 1, Arya, as you attempt to break away from whatever this is, I'm going to assume that's what you believe that intention for the wisdom save was.
Mm-hmm.
As you attempt to break away, I need for you to make me a contesting D100. If you get higher than this D100, I'm going to tell you what's on the line here. You will save from losing connection. If you get lower than this number, you will lose connection. I'm going to assume that you have an idea of what I mean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Roll it. You got higher.
Oh man.
As you feel, though there's no physical visions, there's nothing you can see, you feel as if a light inside of you is grasped, and then it begins to shine brighter as this fist begins to leave and draw back from it. You won against losing connection to your deity. Lily, as you're looking over there, seeing these runes change, you know exactly what it is. She's using see invisibility, which allows one to see things within an area that would be invisible to naked eye, or things like arcane spells or invisible creatures. But what they seem to be focused on is something that is hovering off the ground or right in their face, which to you would be some form of scry.
Okay.
You know where this were to target something, if you wish to act.
Yes.
Felwolf, what are you doing?
I was going to act.
What are you doing?
I'm going to do a vertical strike about a foot away vertically from Arya.
Okay.
In front of her as she's the direction she's staring.
Since the object in which you are attempting to hit, you cannot perceive yourself.
Yeah, be disadvantage.
It
Yeah,
will be disadvantage. So go ahead and roll me an attack with disadvantage.
Okay, so just to describe, so that way, for sake of continuity here, he is going to be doing his new stance as mayor to give him a little bit of a boost on that. It's posted for you.
Hey yo. Intriguing.
All right.
This an 18.
18. That will hit it. However, you will hear, you alone, the entity inside your blade have almost what feels like a cold shiver, like a chill down their spine as you strike the blade through that spot. For a moment, you also feel a slight tautness to an area in the air, as if you cut through something dense like water.
Ew, juicy.
As there is, it does no damage, but you do feel some form of contact with something you cannot perceive. Lily or anybody else?
I'm assuming, since I know that this is a scrying magic, that if I try to dispel it, that would be
What
something
level are
that I
you
could
attempting to cast Dispel Magic at?
Well, here's the one thing I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if I can overcast it. Because I don't...
It depends on the level of spell you have the ability to cast.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't technically have spell slots.
Alright,
so...
what is your current level?
My current level is 10.
Is 10?
Mm-hmm.
As you can see on there, at the very bottom down there, you have one
fourth
slot.
level?
You have one slot in fourth, which is the highest. It does.
Yeah.
I do see that you can cast currently.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, because the other ones didn't have actual slots in them. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it at 4th level. Just to be safe.
Go ahead. Go ahead and roll me I believe it's a D20. And it will be okay, so you will have to make a spellcasting ability check, and for yours, I do believe I'm gonna double check real quick. Okay. That should be intelligence for your subclass. Eldritch Knight is intelligence-based spellcasting, correct? The subclass of fighter.
Yes, it should be.
Or is that
It's intelligence.
It's intelligence.
Yeah. It will be your intelligence plus your intelligence modifier plus proficiency modifier and added to a d20 roll.
Okay. Go set that up real quick. For intelligence modifier plus proficiency.
That will not be
Wow.
Hold on. That will not be enough.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aria. Same 2 rolls.
Good
Another
God.
wisdom.
Are you going for the wisdom save?
Can I not act again at this point?
You can.
Okay.
She will have to make this roll regardless, though.
Okay, well, while she's making that roll, basically, would Fel have called out that he hit something? Is that something he would have done?
Yeah, he also would have said that his blade felt something extremely disconcerting.
Okay, I'm going to then at this point pull my moonbeam closer to where the edge is, literally where Arya and I are at the very edge before it hits us, but it should hit whatever's in front of her.
Yeah.
So let me look at moonbeam real quick. Bap. So if this orb is inside the radius, which it should be if it's like right next to us, it will have to make a con saving throw. I'm gonna be rolling radiant damage on it anyways if radiant affects it.
This object will not take damage. As for the other aspect, creatures that are shapeshifted revert to their normal form. Does it cover invisibility?
Let's see. It just says if it fails the save, instantly reverts to its original form or can't assume a different form. It doesn't say anything about stealth.
The object will
invisibility.
not be affected by your moon ray. As it passes over the area, you will see no change. I will give you this: the light from your moonbeam will change in color to some degree. It will go from what you have seen as you casted before, being this somewhat kind of purplish light, does begin to turn into a red color.
Oh. Yikes.
So you... Can I get
Oh,
that?
sorry, Arya. We're basically useless when it comes to this.
Yeah, this is
No, you
gonna
don't
be.
have a lot, this is one aspect that you don't have a lot of spellcasters or anything to counter things like this.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make me that wisdom saving throw.
Fucking me, dude.
20.
You got dangerously close to the one again.
Yes. Yeah. You will see. You'll see Arya turn her head to the side and close her eyes. As soon as that happens, the moonbeam's color will change back to the normal aspect. Arya, you will instinctively attempt to no longer see invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
As you snap back and look at that same place, no longer with invisibility, there's nothing there. Felwolf, would you like to strike the same spot again?
I mean, I can try. That's the only thing I'm really good at.
If you yourself are wanting to confirm if it's still there or not. You do know that if you do strike the area, you feel a presence, at least through the blade to some regard.
Can I still see her irises?
She no longer has the runes, as she is turned off see invisibility.
Okay. I guess, yeah.
Neat.
16.
16. That would hit roughly in the same spot as it passes through. There is no resistance.
My blade does not feel this creature.
Does that mean it's gone?
Lily,
I would not presume to guess that.
with the critical on Arcana, with nothing to be able to see, none of the same weird interactions that whatever it was being or affecting, you could probably surmise that with that high arcane check or Arcana check, whatever it is may have left, or because an entity cannot sense it, it itself will no longer interact.
Okay. She'll just kind of turn to look over at Arya. Are you okay?
She's just gonna sit down now, and just.
Seems like you have interesting company.
No.
And she'll kind of explain a little bit of like what she gathered from the situation.
Which was that this was some kind of a magical probe.
That it was basically some kind of scrying spell.
So once again, our enemies spy upon us.
Laura's going to angrily wave her hand and dispel the moonbeam.
We'll have to do something to prevent that.
If we still